developments out of Manhattan, where the judge presiding over Donald Trump's hush money case could decide at any moment now how to proceed with sentencing. It comes as prosecutors now say that sentencing in that case can be postponed. In a filing today, Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg and his team urged the judge not to dismiss the case, as Mr. Trump's lawyers have requested, but acknowledge the difficulties of sentencing a sitting president or, of course, in Trump's case, president-elect. That filing says, quote, "The people deeply respect the office of the president, are mindful of the demands and obligations of the presidency, and acknowledge that defendant's inauguration will raise unprecedented legal questions. We also deeply respect the fundamental role of the jury in our constitutional system." I'm joined now by Jeremy Saland, a criminal defense attorney and former assistant district attorney in Manhattan. So thank you so much for joining. So District Attorney Alvin Bragg has now raised the prospect of a 4-year freeze on the case and Trump's sentencing. Are you surprised by that decision?
I think that 4-year freeze would be an injustice. You allow your jury to make its determination. You put that before a jury of Trump's peers or anyone's peers, and you need to have a conclusion. An injustice would be just to dismiss it outright without allowing the appeals process to go forward, too, I believe. But kicking this proverbial can down the road for 4 years, that doesn't do right by anybody. It doesn't do right by the government, doesn't do right by the state, and doesn't do right by the criminal justice system.
So strong feelings there. I wonder if you're thinking about this. I wonder how likely it is that the judge will hold off sentencing. I know you say that it's not a good idea, but if Trump also is not sentenced, do you think his conviction will stand when it comes to maybe 4 years from now when it's taken back up?
Well, to clarify, I'm not saying holding off the sentence isn't a bad idea. There's an option of a stay, which is, as Bragg said, is a non-dismissal options here. There's a stay. Let the appeal process go through its course. Let Trump file whatever he's going to file and continue to do so. So let's not conflate non-sentence with staying it and holding off and seeing how the case plays out in the appeals process. But ultimately, this is not going to resolve in a sentence of incarceration. This is not going to resolve in a sentence of probation or anything along those lines. I think ultimately the American people need closure, and that is a hard thing to judge and for a judge to make a decision about because it's such a unique case.
Yeah. And thank you for making that clarification there, because I know people sitting at home might not see that difference. And I want to ask you, a spokesman for Trump celebrated the delayed sentencing and called it a, quote, total and definitive victory for President Trump and the American people. Do you agree with that?
I wholly disagree with that. And one of the arguments that Donald Trump made is that you cannot sentence him because I have this absolute immunity as president. But keep in mind, this started prior to his presidency and to his election. But also that there's an argument that this will impact his ability to transition from Biden to Trump, which is quite a rich argument when you look at what occurred on January 6th, whether you believe he had a hand on it or not. But objectively look at the evidence that there is some relation to Trump's involvement or engagement, whether that's criminal or not. Jack Smith may never know. But it's a rich argument to make. This case has to come to a conclusion. That would be an injustice, and that's a wrong statement by Trump's team.
It's interesting when you say the case has to come to a conclusion. Based on DA Bragg's recommendation, does it sound like he or whoever the Manhattan DA is at the time will seek a sentencing once President-elect Trump is no longer in office?
Yeah, I think that would be a disappointing, to put it mildly, way to resolve this. And I used that term before, kicking that can down the road. It's used many times. It's not the answer for this. It leaves so much left unknown. And yes, you have a conviction and ultimately whatever a judge sentences is through, but you can't wait for 4 years. It takes too much time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your expertise and for breaking this all down, Jeremy.
My pleasure.
And coming up, a live report